I'm Eve Stevens, editor of Movement.net, and I'm here at Move 2026 speaking to some of the inspiring voices leading conversations in automotive and technology. And I have the pleasure of being joined today by James Peng, co-founder and CEO of Pony AI. Firstly, thanks so much for joining us today, James. How has your Move experience been so far?
Yeah, thanks for having me. The experience at Move so far so good. It's actually my third time I move in a row. So every year I come here. It's similarly it's always very exciting. It's a lot of people in the mobility industry congregates here together. So it's always great.
Absolutely, yes, a familiar face. In terms of industry events like these, what do you see as the importance of these kind of collaborative events? Why speak at Move?
No, I think it's a very convenient place because a lot of our partners, potential partners, the people in the mobility industry all come here together. So it's very easy to organize one-on-one meetings, group chats, and all that. And also having all this display and exhibitions, it's a way for us to actually see what's happening right now in the mobility industry. So it's great.
Absolutely, and having some of the vehicles on show as well, it's really great to see this sort of tangible auto tech. So I want to talk now about Pony AI. Obviously, AI is in the title itself. I had the pleasure of catching your keynote appearance where you spoke about robotaxi services now in Zagreb, in the Middle East, and also in Singapore. You have over 2,000 vehicles, as I believe. Can you tell us a little bit about how advances in AI have really allowed you to kind of expand and scale up your robotaxi services?
No, I think AI it permeates in many parts of our system, right? For example, we use word model for the training and the simulation of our technology, which is advanced AI technology for the physical AI. We use advanced language model for the perception and also language model for interacting for the riders. So it's, and of course we use vibe coding for development and all that. So I don't think AI is really a secret weapon, but AI becomes a general tool for all the high-tech development.
Yes, absolutely. And when it comes to scaling up robotaxi fleets, whether it be here in Europe or further afield, what do you see as maybe the most or the biggest challenge? What's the kind of biggest headwind when it comes to scaling up this technology?
No, I think the biggest, well, I wouldn't say it's one factor. The biggest challenge is the complexity, right? There's hardware, there's software, technology, safety, regulation, user acceptance, cost reduction, and all this. So it's really to how do we manage the complexity of the system and constantly find the weak link and improve it. So that's really the main job of me lately is really have a systematic view of all the moving pieces and make sure they're moving along.
Absolutely. And what about the fact that you're operating across so many different localities? You're obviously dealing with a patchwork of regulation. How do you find dealing with the regulatory differences between these different geographies?
No, I think I see more similarities than the difference, right? Generally, the regulators care about the similar things, the safety, the impact to the existing mobility system, what happens to the local taxi and ride-hailing platforms, potential job impact, and all that. Of course, data security, data privacy, and all that. So those are the similarities. But of course, depends on different cities. The emphasis on which factor will be different. For example, in a much bigger city, they probably care about more on the impact on the local existing mobility systems. So whereas in Europe, probably the data privacy, data security are more important on their minds. So slightly different, but I see more similarities.
Brilliant. Yeah, absolutely. And I want to kind of dwell on that a little bit more. When we think about robotaxis, it kind of seems part of a much bigger ecosystem of mobility. Where do you see robotaxis falling into that ecosystem? Do you see this as a hybrid network or do you see this as a full transition?
No, I think it will be a hybrid network for many years to come. because I mean, customers' demand is very diverse. People use robotaxi. I think the advantages are several folds. One is much safer. It's consistent. All the drivers are so exactly consistent. I mean, our virtual driver. It's much cleaner. It's reliable. But some people still prefer human drivers because if you want a driver to help with you with the luggage, we don't have robots yet. Maybe we're developing it soon. But for the that exactly. So for the time being, I think it's going to be coexisting.
Yeah, absolutely. And building on that, obviously robotaxis bring a host of sort of ethical questions. How do you maybe counter conversations about job displacement? How are you making sure that the kind of drivers are still kind of centered in this transition?
I think first and foremost, it's we're coexisting. We're not replacing all the drivers. Will be an important complement to the existing mobility, shared mobility. Second, we are actually hiring for the operations of the fleet. For example, the remote assistance, the servicing, and the maintenance crews and all that. So some of the taxi drivers can be transformed into other roles in the job. And overall, I think it will be a gradual process, and the society as a whole always has a way to absorb jobs.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think whenever new technology emerges, there's always a kind of evolution of the jobs that exist. And as you said, we'll begin to see other roles kind of popping up in place.
Creating new jobs.
Absolutely. So you've obviously launched an autonomous vehicle testing program in Luxembourg alongside partners Bolt and Stellantis. What do you see as the key benefit then of building these strategic partnerships? Why collaborate with others in this quest?
No, because the whole mobility ecosystem is a complex one, not for autonomous driving per se, right? For the existing taxi services, it's already a lot of partners, right? There are taxi companies, there are vehicle partners, there are local servicing companies. So we're sort of tag along ourselves in the existing ecosystem. And also, I think local partners are important for building the trust from the local residents, and also great government relationships. So I think the partners for the local operation and support is absolutely essential.
Absolutely, and that's what Move is all about. Collaboration is definitely key. I want to touch then on the commercial robotaxi service that you have in Zagreb, obviously the first in Europe. Congratulations there with partners Van and Uber. You've been expanding really aggressively across lots of different localities, obviously Europe. Where then is your next focal point for expansion? Do you have somewhere in mind that you can tell us about?
No, I think Europe in general is a great market to be in. It's a 500 million plus population. Economy is booming. So definitely we'll find a way to gradually, it's not going to happen overnight, gradually launch into more markets in Europe. Although which one to tackle first, there's a lot of factors that we need to consider. But gradually, what we want to be definitely treat the European market as a strategic focus.
Yeah, and I think we're beginning to see Europe really coming into its own when it comes to autonomy. Obviously, here in London, we have this real inflection point when it comes to robo-taxis. So yeah, it will be really exciting to see how that progresses. Just as we move then into our last kind of minutes here, what's on the agenda for you at Move? What are you looking forward to in the rest of the show?
No, well, again, I think it's a great event for all the relevant people in the mobility industry to come here. So I actually have a pretty packed schedule today with talking to many generous partners and potential partners. So it's a great event.
Yeah, I know already that you're in very high demand. So thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. That's about all we have time for, but I really hope you enjoy the rest of the show and hopefully we'll see you again next year.
Yeah, thank you for having us.